Tinseltown. It is entitled Hollywood Husbands, and it's not a sequel to Hollywood Wives,
No,
right?
it's all new characters, and one of them is a talk show host.
Jack Python.
Yes, Jack Python is his name. I wanted to have a kind of dangerous name and a character.
Jack Python?
You
Was
don't
it
think
choke
that's a
people off?
I wanted to have this kind of guy. You know, I think talk show hosts are very attractive because they're up there and they have to be smart. And I think a lot of women find that men who have a good mind are more attractive because of it. Don't you think women think that, Bryant? I mean, you must get a lot of letters.
I wish I could tell you. Who is Jack Python? I mean, is he
Who
Johnny?
is he based on?
Yeah, is he Johnny Carson?
No, he's not Johnny Carson.
Is he Dick Cavett?
No.
Is he Joey Bishop?
He's none of them. He's a composite of a lot of different guys. And I think when you read the book, you will have your guess, because a lot of people do that. They like to read and they say, Jackie, who is this character?
Is that, maybe it's fiction, maybe it ain't game. Is that central to the success of all your books?
I don't think so, no, because if I wrote real people, you would be bored. You know, you'd say, oh, it's Frank Sinatra. I know what's going to happen with Frank Sinatra. It's not. It's kind of getting that character that people think they almost know, but they don't, because he always does something different. And Jack Python is always doing something different. And it's also about the coke-snorting studio head, and about the macho movie star. And my favorite character in the book is the guy with no money at all who marries this, you know, fantastic television soap superstar who's slightly older than him.
Let me get that, what's his name, Monan Cable?
Manon Cable.
Manon
yes,
Cable.
yes,
Monan Cable, I'm sorry. He's not that kind of superstar. Let me give you a blank canvas. Who's
Yes.
a Hollywood husband?
Who's a Hollywood husband?
Yeah, what's a Hollywood husband like?
There's some great Hollywood husbands, but the ones I'm writing about are the guy that gets up in the morning and he has a personal exercise instructor come into the house to pummel him into shape. And this guy is usually an out-of-work actor who's taken this up, and now he wants to punish the studio head. So he comes in and he says, you know, he's like a drill sergeant. He says, you do 75 push-ups, and the guy's, you know, nearly having a heart attack, but he does it. Then he gets into his Porsche and he takes a call or two on his cellular telephone, and he drives to the studio and he takes a meeting. And then there's one Hollywood husband who keeps a girlfriend at the studio and one at home. I mean, the Hollywood wife is very much at home, while the Hollywood husband is out there really doing it. In fact, one reviewer said about Hollywood husbands, this makes Hollywood wives look like a church tea party.
Well, I was going to say, it's not a very good portrayal of Hollywood. Do you like Hollywood?
Well, you know, well, I was watching the show earlier today, and I noticed that you said the politicians, when they've got their mics on and everything, say all these wonderful things. Then they think the mic is turned off, but the camera is off and the mic is on, and they say, oh,
Something
that was
akin
a
to that.
bunch
I
of
said the
garbage.
satellite reveals some characters that you might not
Absolutely.
otherwise see.
Yes, and I think that's Hollywood. Everybody says Hollywood is great, it's a wonderful, glowing place, and there's wonderful parts of it. But I portray what really goes on. You're getting an accurate picture
But wait
of
a
Hollywood.
minute, Jackie. Now,
yes.
wait. Now,
Okay,
when you go around, you do your research. I mean, you're all ears. I mean,
Yes.
are you a willing ear to any gossip?
I listen to gossip, and I don't repeat it. I just change the
You write
names.
it.
I change the names to protect the not-so-innocent, and I put it in a book,
Well,
which is why my books are authentic.
But doesn't that make you, don't mistake
Yes.
this, my love, but
Okay.
doesn't that make you socially undesirable? I mean, why would
It makes
somebody
me
want to
very
invite
desirable. I mean, you have dinner with us when you come with me and my husband, and you tell me all sorts of things, Brian.
I don't tell you that many things.
Well, I think that people know when they read one of my books that they're not getting something that has been written in the Inquirer or the Star. They're getting the real truth about Hollywood husbands, and that's what people want to know. They want to know the real truth.
One final note. This is the first time that you've written about guys as your central characters.
Yes.
Why did it take you so long to get to us?
I love every minute of it, though, I must say. I really thought that the wives I should write about first because they were more tame. And now that I'm writing about the men, I think I'll always write about men because I can get into your mind.
Joan going to be upset that I said you're more successful than she is?
I don't know. We'll have to ask her, won't we?
She might be in the next book. You're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about this tomorrow.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, darling.
102, we missed her last year, couldn't do it this year. And Rosilla Willingham, Atlanta, Georgia's 100. Elizabeth Spooner, 104 in Boston, is a great Red Sox fan. Teresa Emanuel of Ottawa, Iowa, is the oldest living Iowan. And she's 109 years old today. She says the good Lord forgot where he left her. And Annie Zippoy.
About her latest book, it is a smash, Hollywood Husbands. You're telling me what, that it's already climbed to?
It's #3 on the bestseller list, the New York Times, and it hasn't been published yet. I mean, it's in the stores, but its official publication date is Thursday.
Do you watch carefully?
Of course I do. It's so exciting. I mean, you always want to do better each time. And why do you write the books? You want a lot of people to read them and have fun with them.
Yeah, but I mean, hasn't it reached the point now where the minute you put the end on the typewriter, you know what's going to happen to it?
I don't think anything in life is a sure thing. Do you?
something.
What?
No, you'll never get me. I mean, seriously, don't you really? You're no longer surprised by your continuing success, consistent success,
Well, I get
are you?
wonderful letters from people, you know, who say, I read Hollywood Wives, or I'm going to read Hollywood Husbands, and I can't wait. And that's a great kind of input from people coming at me all the time saying, you've got to keep writing. I wrote this book so fast. I wrote it in 7 months, which is the fastest I've ever written a book. And I think, you know, it was like I closed my eyes, and now it's Christmas again, and I'm going to write another one.
Wait a minute, Jackie, what does 7 months of dedication to one book say? That you are enormously talented, enormously quick, or that anything you put your name on will sell?
No, because I love doing it. I have fun doing it. And I think the reason people pick up Hollywood Husbands and say, I can't put it down, is because when I'm writing the book, I can't put it down. I get involved with the characters. I become the studio head, and the stud, and the mogul, and the model, and the superstar, and even the kid in it, the heaven, who's a rock star at 16.
Do you take it as a compliment when people refer to it, as they do, as classy trash?
I would sooner they called it flash, because trash you throw away, and I've been writing for 18 years, and people, you know, come up to me at signings, and they have dog-eared paperbacks that they've had for 18 years. So it can't be trash, because trash you throw away. So they should have a new name for it, and they should call it flash fiction. You like that?
That's not bad. You ever had a desire, and please don't take this wrong, but you ever had a desire to write something more substantial, more serious?
Would I take that wrong from the thinking woman's sex symbol? Never. Do you remember I called you that before on the show?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And
I
I
was
got a lot
hoping
of
you wouldn't do it
letters
again.
from women.
Thanks
And they
a
said,
lot.
yeah, you're absolutely right. We always watch
My
Bryant in
wife's
the
hand
morning.
is still tired. Thank you. But seriously.
I don't know how to take that, Bryant, but however, yes. No, I want to write what I write because I love writing it, you know. I have fun doing it, and that's why people have fun reading it, because I'm not one of these pretentious authors who's got this little map on the wall with all the characters and what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. So when I pick up on Hollywood Husbands, they're all going to go off in their separate directions.
Do you read the other authors? I mean, those whose
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
might be in competition with yours, somebody like, for example, Judith Krantz.
I don't think authors are in competition. I like Judith. I think she writes terrific, fun books. And I really think that the more people that get into the bookstores and read books, it's good for other authors. So you have to be supportive.
Are her books as good as yours?
Oh, Bryant, what kind of a question is that?
Simple enough.
They're different. We write different kind of fiction. You know, I mean, I think that we're very different. Yes?
You have 2 teenage daughters. What do they think of your stuff?
They love them. They didn't read them for a long time, and then one of them came home from school one day, and she said, I don't know what's going on. She said, but everywhere I look, there's a copy of Hollywood Wives and Chances. And she said, I'd better read them. And she sat down and she read Chances, and she said, it's terrific. She never commented on the fact that it was supposedly this wild, sexy book. I mean, I don't think I write wild, sexy books. I think I write...
You don't?
No, I write a humorous kind of cynical send-up of Hollywood people and the rich and powerful.
You don't think the books are wild, sexy books and showing a rather decadent life?
Well, I think they're kind of sexy, but they're not outrageously sexy. I mean, as they said on the commercial in England, outrageous, and I said out now. But I mean, I don't think they're full of sex. I think the men write more sex than I do. I think if I write sex at all, it's erotic sex. It's a turn-on as opposed to a turn-off.
We're picking words. If I was head of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, should I like the image of Hollywood you're putting out?
Oh, God, yes. You know, when I go down Rodeo Drive, they lay out the
Which
red
you do
carpet.
every day, right?
No, no. Only with television crews behind me.
Thanks a lot. That never get aired, but that's another story. Go ahead.
Well, I think that they like the fact that I've kind of, you know, made Hollywood this kind of interesting, exciting place again. They were loving this dull image that they had, that everybody was happily married. And of course there are great marriages there. I'm only writing about a small % of Hollywood. I'm writing about the wild, bad Hollywood husbands, because if I wrote about the good ones who've been married forever, it would be really dull. So I'm kind of putting a new slant on Hollywood, and as an outsider I can do it. I can say what I want, and I don't care what people think.
Let's talk about you a little bit. What kind of a routine do you keep each and every day?
Well, I work very hard.
Do you write every day?
Oh, sure, yeah. Except when I'm doing this, which is much more fun.
You like doing this too, don't you?
I do. I love talking to you because you're fast and quick. You, as I said before.
Don't say it again.
No, all right, I won't say it
Please,
again.
thank
I won't.
you.
I won't embarrass you. But I do. I love writing, and I get to the desk at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just write through till about 6 or 7. And I don't know what's going to happen with the characters. I mean, Wes Money may marry the fabulous soap superstar, or he may go off and take all her money. I mean, it's a decision that my characters make for me as I'm writing.
Another personal question. You always wear black pants and something that's leopard skin. Why?
It's lucky. I mean, I know that's the title of my last book.
I understand
But it's
that.
very lucky for me, and I'm quite upset because leopard skin is suddenly becoming very fashionable. It used to be just me and Rod Stewart who wore it. Now it's the world, so I have to think of something else. Any ideas?
No, I'm not sure I'd say them if I had an idea. One final note.
Jackie Collins. It's a long introduction. Hey, I have to say,